Hello, my name is METİN Arıdaşır. This is 251st part of explanation of my theory. In order not to waste time, I'm writing my 5th book here, YouTube, since beginning of my roughly 250 videos, and I'm going on to do this. According to my theory and my formulas. Since the Planck's constant is angular momentum of the photon, photon has mass. The photon is not a particle. Contrary to accepted physics theories, the photon doesn't travel from A to B. The photon doesn't travel from A to B continuously in a linear path. 1. The photon is an imaginary, inseparable point on spherical, ring-shaped, continuously, think of three-dimensional, ring-shaped, continuously cyclical moving surface of an electron motion form or its waves. An imaginary, inseparable point, here or there, or there. This imaginary, inseparable point can be assumed as a revolving point in a circular path or a circular-like path. It has angular momentum, it has linear velocity. On the other hand, if an electron motion form is free, it produces and propagates successive spherical ring-shaped waves as n equal 1, n equal 2, n equal 3, so on, so forth. Each wave can be assumed as a pace. Like this. Think of three-dimensional. Here n equal 1, n equal 2, okay. First pace, second pace, third pace, fourth pace, okay. And yes, if electron motion form is not relocating, these repetitive perpetual paces travel through eternity in all directions at the speed of light. In this case, an inseparable point on any wave's surface, I said this point photon. In this case, photons can be imagined perpetually, iteratively occur as jumping points at a certain frequency, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, or here. But these points don't follow straight line, continuous straight line. Okay. Between them, there is no continuum. Okay. Here, each point belongs to a different successive spherical wave. But we can imagine that a photon is traveling linearly by jumping paces. Okay? Jumping paces. Successively, here or here. We can imagine that. Only imagine. Yes. In fact, each photon points belongs to different wave, and they are not the same. But eventually, we can imagine that the photon points travel at the speed of light in all directions if electron motion form is not relocating. This is electron motion form. It has wavelength. I advise you to watch my former videos. Yes, on contrary accepted physics theories, mass of each photon decreases inversely proportional. These are some formulas that I put forth. Inversely proportional, this is wave number. Okay, this is mass, my mass formula. This is my mass formula. Carefully, you can notice. Okay. Yes. Yes. On contrary, accepted physics theories, mass of each photon decreases inversely proportional to squared wave number. This means photon follows inverse square law. As gravitation, like electric forces, etc. Thus, we mentioned two different velocities components. Cycling, okay, and c direction, paces, and in continuously a point, an inseparable point, a photon, cycling on this surface. But in fact, don't forget that completely this motion surface is cycling, is in motion totally. We chose arbitrarily a point, an inseparable point, and I said that point, photon. Okay, imaginary. Yes, thus we mentioned two different velocities components, c direction, speed of light direction component, and linear velocity component. This is point, c direction, linear velocity component. Here, c direction, linear velocity component. This is c, this is Vg. Here, this is Vg, this is c. Two components. Two component masses, two component energies, two component velocities, etc. Yes, yes. Thus we mentioned two different velocities components, c direction component and linear velocity direction component. By the way, these components have nothing to do with centrifugal and centripetal forces. Okay? These components have nothing to do with centrifugal or centripetal forces. Yes. 2. The linear velocity of a point on the moving surface of the first cycle of an electron motion form is 6.28 times greater than the speed of light, according to my formula. Okay. For the first cycle, this is lambda normal, initial wavelength. This is c direction, this is linear velocity direction, and this direction, 2 pi c, and n is equal 1 first cycle, is equal to n multiplied by 1,884,000 kilometer per second. 1,884,000 kilometer per second. Linear velocity component, okay? This component c direction. And this is a point, photon, inseparable point, okay? Yes. The linear velocity of a point on the moving surface of the first cycle of an electron motion form is 6.28 times greater than the speed of light, according to my formula. This velocity, n multiplied by 1,884,000 km per second, is determinative of angular momentum of a point. Angular momentum of a point, okay? Any point, maybe this, but here it is. In other words, this velocity is determinative of Planck's constant. Since, as I told you before, since this inseparable point on electron motion form is the photon that I put forth, Planck's constant is nothing but the angular momentum of the photon. If energy and Planck's constant are not equal to 0, photon must has mass. Photon must have mass. Yes, this is my point energy in linear velocity component. Yes, I will show you like this. Finally, if electron motion form is not relocating, energy is equal to H Vt divided by lambda normal Vt squared Vt. Okay, and here our mass, wait a moment. True. Energy, point energy, if electron motion form's velocity is 0. Okay. If this is 0, like this, energy, linear velocity